Ladies and gentlemen, come gather round, come gather round, come gather around. Soon, we're going to take this bed and the fenders and put it in this spray booth that I just finished building. Oh yeah, and it works. The idea with the booth is so that I don't have to spend 3 days sanding out bugs and pollen and dust that ends up in the paint. On the other hand, you spend 3 days putting together a spray booth. So pick your poison. If my vehicle was movable, because it doesn't currently drive, I'd probably be inclined to just spray it outside and sand out my defects. So, let's build a spray booth, and let's booth some sprays. Let's go!
All right, you get the rare opportunity of seeing me work with this organic material called wood. I work with wood under duress. That's a Latin term which means only because you have a gun to my head. Wood, to me, is for wheel chocks, subwoofer boxes, and protecting my drill press table. I do not care for this material or medium at all. In fact, the more I work with it, the more I should consult a medium. I did enjoy using my welding clamps to hold everything into place while I climbed around. At some point, you'll see me wielding a framing square to try and make sure this thing is perfect. And then part of me is like, goodness gracious, I need to take a toke of reality and not worry so much about 4 decimal places of precision on a rickety structure that changes based on ambient temperature and humidity. So, it is what it is. It's close enough. It's going to work for me. So, and I had to shove it around because it wasn't quite fitting the shop because I didn't even measure this before I started building it. I just wanted to pound her all together. When I built my workshop, I brought every single board home from Home Depot and I sighted them out and made sure they were gorgeous and they were perfect. And I'd strap them into my truck and I'd drive the 10 kilometers back to my house, and every single board in that, 10, 12 kilometer trip warped and changed shape. And oh my gosh, I hated it. But this isn't a steel structure because that's going to be pretty freaking expensive. But there it is. You can see kind of the false wall that I'm going to put in here to help change the way the air flows through the booth. But I'll show that to you once we get it all together. The sheathing for this, or the plastic wrap, is just the drop sheets from the painting section of Home Depot. In theory, you could use vapor barrier, which would be a little bit more durable. But my idea with this is the clear plasticness would allow the light to shine into the booth. However, in practice, I need a bit more light for my old man eyes to work. So when I get around to spraying the actual color on the vehicle, I'm going to add a couple more light fixtures inside just to give me a bit more light so I can see what I'm doing. You can never have enough light, let's be honest. But there it is. Staple gun goodness and tuck tape works dandy.
So the whole thing is built out of mostly 10-foot and 14-foot 2x4s. It's 14 feet wide and then 14 feet long, and then because I didn't have to worry about the bed, I ended up just using some 10-footers back here. So I guess it's 24 feet long. I guess you can make it however you want. This is really just rough put together because once the truck is painted, I'm rolling the truck out until it bumps into the far wall over there, and then this back wall of the booth gets moved up, and then I guess to here, and then the bed and the fenders go in, and I'm going to spray those. Probably didn't need to go 10 feet high. It made sense to me. I did want to make sure I can spray the roof nicely. You could probably go at 8. They don't have 10-foot. They don't have 10-foot lengths. Princess Auto had a bunch of LED lights on, so I bought a whack of these and just put them out here so I can use them again without them getting paint on them. When I built the shop, I put a big barn fan up in the peak of the ceiling with the intent of running a spray booth, and so this is ducted with 4 2x4s into this little chute right here, and in through here at the very bottom are some furnace filters which started out as white and now they're not white. So in basically just spraying the primer on the truck here, wow, I got to change these filters already. So all that stuff would have gone out into Mother Nature, and I don't think she does a good job of that. I do have piped in compressed air, which is coming in that wall because I've got a water separator over there. And over here I've got garden hose going to my breathable air system, because you do not want to breathe this stuff. So, and then there's a row of furnace filters up at the top, at the back over there, which bring fresh air in, hopefully no dust. The idea is it comes in through the top, takes whatever impurities and comes down here and then gets sucked up the chute and out. So we'll see. I put a door here so I can get in, and it's just cardboard. And I put it here so if I come and go in and out of the booth, I'm not going to get dust on what I'm spraying. I have purpose for the 2x4s when I'm done. Shelving in here so I can get stuff off the floor, as well as a shed behind my shop to store more junk so I can get it out of the shop. I'd say the 14-foot width of this is actually pretty good. It did give me enough room to get around this vehicle. You got a smaller vehicle, you could probably make it smaller. It doesn't leave a whole lot of room to actually exit the shop, because, you know, you're looking at, good thing I go by Skinny G on the interwebs. I gotta suck my fat gut in there. A couple more LED bars, which I will put probably in the ceiling when I'm done this little turd. All the way up to there. Yeah, worked pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with it. If you were a thinking laddie, you would set up your shop so you could easily have a booth and not have a booth. But if I ever paint another vehicle again, it'll be probably too soon, because I can't stand doing body work. I changed it. I don't know if you can see it there. I put in a couple filters right at the fan, and we're going to see if that makes a bit of a difference, because this was kind of imploding, which is why I have the cardboard boxes in there. What would I do differently? I would probably not go quite as tall, although they don't have 9-foot boards, and 8 maybe, just so it's a little bit shorter. In theory, you could put a couple more studs in there, but then I don't know if you've priced lumber lately, that can get pretty expensive. I looked at doing all of this in irrigation PVC pipe, so that when it's all done, I can take it down and make my own underground sprinklers in my backyard, which I don't have. But boy, howdy, that gets expensive, because to be rigid enough plastic pipe, you got to buy $30 for a 10-foot length. So no thanks, and I don't want it all linky-wicky-doo-dee-doo. That's the official term. So here it is. So far we've done a coat of epoxy primer, and when I'm done this video, I'm going to get on with some high build, and then we're going to paint it. Anyways, that's the spray booth. Would I do it again? I don't know, maybe. Thanks for watching. Take care.